Hi everyone. Welcome to this audio commentary. We're doing things a little differently for Retrospectives Be Damned. I'm going to be doing audio commentaries for each season. In this case, season one is the first 5 episodes. And we're going to do that all the way to the last season. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of broad audio commentary sort of thing from a seasonal point of view. Here we have footage from episode one, the first episode, the pilot, if you would. Um, this was the only episode filmed in my parents' house. I was in the sort of process of moving out. We were looking for houses. This was circa 2013, and I wanted to do the show, so I started filming it, and we did it at my parents' house. My wife actually edited this episode. It was the only episode that not only she edited, but that was also cut together on Final Cut Express. No other episode of the series had been done on Final Cut Express after this one. And my wife edited it for good luck, because I wanted to have good luck for the show. I chose demo discs since at the time demos were starting to become scarce. They weren't really things that people gave you anymore. We kind of went all digital at this point. PS4 and Xbox One were about to come out. Wii U was out. Demos were kind of gone. I thought it would be kind of cool to do. The pizza, by the way, that I kept talking about in this episode being delicious actually sucked. My Pizza Hut at the time was really bad. There's a lot of stories I could tell, but I will just say that that pizza sucked, and I had to very much act and pretend it was amazing. The Epcot joke and footage was because when I wrote the episode, we were actually going to Epcot. My wife and I were going to go on a vacation to Walt Disney World, and we were going to go visit Epcot. And I thought, well, fuck it. If I'm going to be in Epcot, why not shoot footage of it? So, starting with the second episode, a lot of new things happened. For one, this is the first episode shot in my new home. We had just moved, we had settled in, it was 2014, and it had been a couple of months since we had actually done the first episode. So I said, well, hell, let's go, let's pick up where we left off. I chose game boxes because I had just moved out, and I had way more space to put my collection out and just view them. And I was looking at them all, and I'm like, God, look at these boxes. Look at all these. Oh, this is so cool. I'm going to do a video on it. So that was the whole idea behind that. This is also the first episode where RBD Guy has his classic look, which is the necktie and, on a graphic tee. I don't know why I did that. I think I just wanted RBD Guy to have something. I was going to start showing him more on camera, and it just, for whatever reason, made sense for me to do that. But I honestly don't know why I did that. It was just a random idea I had, and I just thought it looked silly. This episode was way too long. It was just so freaking long, and I told myself, like, this was the one where later on when I kind of reviewed everything, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to make episodes this long. Like, this is, I think it was 16 minutes, and later on I would decide this needs to be short. In some way, I have no idea how, but we'll figure it out. Also, this is the first appearance of Becca. My wife, she becomes kind of a random character that starts popping up as the series continues, and I think her debut was very cute and very funny. And, of course, we reference this later in the last episode, so that was kind of cool. So episode 3, I was really inspired by Swoozy storytelling videos. I love just storytelling videos where people just, they engross you. They tell a story so engrossingly that you kind of imagine it in your head, like you feel like you were there, as they do at Raconteurs, if you would. And so I thought, well, I had done a GameCube video that was similar to that, which had gotten a lot of views. And this was around the time I was still, trying to make my YouTube channel become a thing. My wife had done it successfully, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I can. So I said, you know what? Let me continue that. I had just gotten my PlayStation 4 and my Xbox One, and I'm like, maybe this will raise my views. I'll talk about some Nintendo systems that I got. It absolutely did not raise my views, but it was fun to do. It was very fun to make, and it was enjoyable. It was a fun episode just to talk about, you know, where I got my consoles, some of them anyway, and it led to some really fun memories. So moving on to episode 4, I really wanted to do an anniversary episode. I was, this was season 1. I was still kind of getting my feelers out there, and Sega Genesis was celebrating the 25th anniversary of being around, being released. And I said, well, I love the Genesis. I grew up on it. I have a lot of stories I could tell. So I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's kind of go over all my games and whatnot. What was funny was, for whatever reason, my Retron 5, I had gotten a Retron 5, which, I don't know, I think I have a faulty console, because I've heard people talk really popular things about it, but for whatever reason, my Retron 5 sucked. And I had a lot of issues with it. One issue was it would not work with my video capture device. I had an Elgato game capture device, the newest one at the time, and it just would not work. And I was really upset about that, so I ended up getting an HDMI Sega Genesis AtGames model, which is those little consoles that have built-in games, but you could also, it has a slot where you could put in Genesis games. And I said, all right, cool, I can get my HD stuff from there, and capture the audio from there. Ends up, I love the AtGames model. I think it's really cool, and it introduced me to some games I'd never played, especially on the Sega Master System, because they had some Master System games on there. And finally, we come to the 5th and final episode of Season 1, the only Halloween episode. This was released around October, and it's Halloween themed, of course, with Resident Evil content. Also, the introduction to the other RBD guy. When I wrote this episode, I knew that I was going to start kind of like a seasonal arc that would begin with here and would honestly all be kind of swept up by episode 25. So what began the giant arc that ends with the 25th episode, volume 1, if you would, as I called it, begins here. Other RBD guy, I didn't know what he looked like. That's why we don't see him. He has kind of like that really raspy voice. I actually, as I was playing him, you could see the cable, but I had a headset hooked up, and I was capturing my audio from GarageBand, where I put a filter on it that made my voice kind of have that echoey reverb thing, and then I would act with the voice like this, and it kind of came out like that. He, if you notice, he has a full suit, including the vest, but no tie. I thought if RBD guy has a tie, but everything else is casual clothes, I wanted other RBD guy to wear full suit, no tie. Like everything you can wear on a suit except the tie. So, just, I don't know, for that I have an explanation for. It was just, I wanted him to be the polar opposite of RBD guy. For the Resident Evil topic, this was intended to be part 1, and then later on I would do a follow-up. I chose to first look at the classic Resident Evil games because I really love the classic Resident Evil games. I still do. I think they're still the best in the series. I love Resident Evil as a whole, but the classic tank control, especially the PlayStation 1 games, just, I have so much love for them. Uh, so my idea was let's talk about the classic series here, and then later on in the future, I would do a modern follow up where we'd start with Resident Evil 4. I was actually gonna have a whole episode dedicated to Resident Evil 4, and then I would do all the other ones as like a third, so kind of like a Resident Evil trilogy sort of thing. I ended up not doing that just because the series was growing long in the tooth, and I wanted to kind of end it. So it just made sense to cut it off where I cut it off, which is exactly what I did. But all right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this seasonal audio commentary on season one, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the bonus features and other audio commentaries I posted on here. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Bye.